Today, I formally announce our opening call for the next cohort, FoodX2 Spring 2015. And the application has been online, soft open a couple of weeks ago. We're going to keep it open for 2 months till February. And this time we're going to do it differently because learning from the last round that they're just companies just hit off the park. And others who, even though has a concept, now every single company you just listen to is post-revenue. I am so proud of you guys. So we're going to hopefully have just as good a cohort next. So one thing we're doing differently is that we're going to have a rolling admission instead of waiting till the very end of the application process and do one announcement. So I'm very excited to announce another delicious idea. We're so excited to have our first company just submitted into the second cohort, and it is no other than celebrity chef Rocco DiSpirito's. And Rocco is going to tell us what he's going to do to this delicious revolution. Rocco.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just when you thought you were home free, there's one more speaker. I met Shen and Sean over some pu'er tea, and a few months later, and a couple of cases of wine later, my life hasn't been the same. So it's all changed for the better. So that's why I'm thrilled to be here and to be a part of the launch of FoodX and its first cohort. I congratulate and thank each and every one of the founders, SOS Ventures, Sean O'Sullivan, Sean Broderick, Shen Tong, or Shendong in Chinese, and Chris Stewart on their substantial and important accomplishment. Okay, so I'm really excited. I am standing at the crossroads of passion and purpose. And guess what? I realize I don't have to make a choice. They naturally intersect. I am fusing my passion for delicious food with the newfound purpose of health. This revelation started about 10 years ago after a health scare of my own. In 1 year, that was me. In 1 year, I went from butterholic to Ironman triathlete and became a reformed student of haute cuisine. And the reason I was successful is that I figured out how to live healthfully and still enjoy my passion of preparing and indulging in delicious food. People try to make healthy choices, but to do that, it generally means sacrifice and deprivation. When I think about the road to healthy eating for most people, it's like walking a tightrope. And it breaks my heart because this challenge goes beyond personal struggles. It's a global epidemic. I've done many things in my career, most of which I'm proud of, and I've always wanted to be a chef, and that dream came true at my 3-star New York City restaurant. And I was pretty sure back then I'd found my vocation. But it wasn't until several months ago when a very famous chef friend of mine asked me if I had felt like I'd done everything there is to do in life. And I'm like, I'm not that old, am I? And my response was quick and certain. I said, no, in fact, I have just discovered what it is I'm here to do. And today, I'm here to tell you that my craft is cooking, but my vocation is to bring healthy and delicious to the masses. You all know what the problem is. We're mired down by an obesity epidemic. US overweight and obesity rates increased dramatically over the last 20 years. It's now up to 69% of the US population, which is tragic. Obesity-related illnesses kill more people than everything else combined. Think about that for a second. The costs of this epidemic are flabbergasting. It's so bad that the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation predicts that the annual cost of productivity loss due to obesity could hit $580 billion by 2030. As you can see, the ramifications are far-reaching. It affects our economy, our dependence on fossil fuel. In fact, we spend an extra $1 billion a year flying overweight passengers than we did in the 1970s. 380 million extra gallons of fuel. And our healthcare system, of course. Imagine the Medicaid debate without this problem. So what are we doing about this? Too little. What can we do about this? A fucking hell of a lot, and we should be. The problem is that until now, no one has been able to crack the healthy versus delicious code. Healthy food tastes like, well, healthy food. And delicious food almost is never good for you. This is where I found my purpose. The fusion finally becomes useful. About 10 years ago, I wrote and published my first book on the subject. It was hard to sell. No one wanted to buy healthy. It's called Now Eat This. It was an instant #1 New York Times bestseller. And I only say that not to be immodest, but to tell you that people cared 10 years ago about this subject. And it posited that healthy and delicious are not mutually exclusive. I kept up writing and have helped tens of thousands of people reach a healthy weight with my healthy and delicious recipes. I have personally cooked for, coached, and supervised hundreds of people do the same thing with my pound-a-day diet fresh food delivery service. Many of these clients are from my original group of pound-a-day diet test subjects, and they just didn't want to stop eating the food, so they became clients, and the pound-a-day diet was born. Since then, I've added dozens of bold-faced names to my clients, and all my growth has come from word-of-mouth marketing. Now, with the support of FoodX, it's time to bring healthy to the masses with the delicious life. FoodX was founded on the belief that the future of food is now, and I agree. FoodX is on a mission to change our food system by equipping disruptive food businesses, aka me, the DL, with skills and funding they need to succeed in the food industry. So what if my vision was a new reality? What if we could mobilize a paradigm shift in the food industry and change the misconception that healthy and delicious foods are mutually exclusive? What if we could free people from the enslavement of processed foods and reset the perception that living healthfully means deprivation and not being happy, to living healthfully is the vehicle to happiness? In spring 2015, The Delicious Life and FoodX conspire to do exactly that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rocco. We're so excited. So please stay, enjoy not only the food and wine, and but also I promise you conversations with those companies, 10 plus 1, 11 companies. Thank you for coming.